Welcome everyone to the 6G podcast. I'm your host, Dame G, with my co-host, Cammy Netter. In our studio today, we have Uriah and Azalea. Tell everybody about yourselves real quick, and then we're going to get this thing cracking. Uriah, first.
Hello, how you doing?
Tell people about you.
My name is Uriah. I'm 35, from New Jersey. About it.
What perspective do you think you'd be adding to this conversation?
Excuse me?
What perspective are you looking at this situation?
I believe I think it should apply to both sides, the right to choose.
Personal experience that shape your opinion?
I guess I could for a later time, but I guess I would say, it took both of them to parent, you know what I mean? To make that action. So if one of them want to take full responsibility, I believe they should have that choice.
And Mrs. Zelia, please tell the people about yourself and your side of things.
Hey, everybody. Okay. Bear with me a second because y'all can hear me good. For some reason, I'm hearing you guys pretty faint. My name is Azalea. Do I really have to say how old I am? I'm 49 and I'm in Jersey. My view, I can say so much about this. First off, I have to say that I am basically for abortion only because of people that are in rape situations, or it's a life or death matter, like, having their baby could, they could lose their life, something like that. But I've never thought it was fair that the man's consent is needed for everything except for abortion. His name is on the birth certificate, his name is on the death certificate. If you want to put the child up for adoption, you need his signature. But when it comes down to abortion, he has no say-so. If she wants to do it, she's going to do it. If she don't want to do it, she's not going to do it. And he has no say-so. And that's not cool with me.
All right, we're about to get into it. First, I'm going to show a clip of, a couple of videos. And I want you guys to tell me your thoughts on this conglomeration of videos. Ready? Here we go.
There's 6 kids into your home, and now she's trying to take you for a ride by claiming this baby is yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
That the defendant betrayed you by cheating with Prince's second possible father, your best friend. You are not his father. Not. You know who Prince's father is? Cornel Milan. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jones, you are not the father.
I didn't know. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You are not the father moments on paternity court. A devastated man came to see if he was the father of his son or if it was his best friend who impregnated his girlfriend.
You maintain that the defendant betrayed you by cheating with Prince's second possible father, your best friend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Fobbs, you say you were caught between the man you're in love with and his best friend.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit you made a horrible mistake when you slept with both men. You're Mr. Pace's best friend.
Yes.
And the second potential father of Prince.
Yes, Your Honor.
When the judge asked Miss Fobbs about her relationship with Mr. Pace's best friend, this was her reaction.
When did this love triangle, this cheating, begin and how?
The situation with me and Randolph only happened once.
Was there anything else going on in the relationship other than he's just going to work?
The thing is, he works at night, so he's never really home with me, and I kind of took that as a feeling of neglect.
The audience was appalled, but the judge asked Mr. Randolph, the best friend, about how he could sleep with his best friend's girl.
How could you sleep with your best friend's girl?
I wasn't in the right state of mind. We both was intoxicated. You know, he was out promoting clubs, and she used to come home from the club intoxicated and, you know, looking for him. He's not there. Me and her talk, and one night the talk led to something else.
How did you find out that she slept with your best friend?
We were actually in a heated argument at the time that it occurred.
Wait a minute. So you're in a heated argument as a couple, and just out of the blue she yells, and by the way, your best friend could be Prince's father?
Correct.
So far,
I'm gonna stop it right there because we're gonna touch on a couple of things that happened in that video. I mean, no party in that one. No one was in the right throughout that whole first video.
True.
The man should not ever neglect your wife. Like, you're not working, you should be at home with your wife. I get that. Second, my best friend though. Third, my best friend Emma. No. Somebody dies. I'm catching the case, and yeah. Now, what happens here in a lot of situations like this, and I've actually witnessed it, and I've witnessed it and heard some tales from people. They always say the husband's the father, even though they know for a fact that they slept with somebody else. They go tell the person that they actually with, you the father. No accountability. Just admit that you did. Like, we could probably move on past it if you tell me the truth. Thoughts?
Man, I mean, plain and simple, yeah, they shouldn't have, or some women aren't happy though. Some women just never satisfied. So maybe she would have done it whether he was home or not. Like, he probably could have went to the grocery store and still called the best friend over. Like, it probably would have still happened. But then you gotta test a third guy, and then he's still not the father. Like, who's the dad then? That's what I'd be wanting to know. Because then she wasn't even trying anymore. She was just out there, like, you know.
You're right. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, it's a mess. I've experienced a situation like that myself. I've been married for 12 years before I got separated. I was told by my mother-in-law at one point before she passed that it's a possibility that my daughter is not mine. I mean, it that's like one of the scariest things about being a man, though, you know, because you can be with somebody, you know, and have this family, but turn around and it's not really yours, you know what I mean? And you won't know unless somebody tell you, you know.
Yeah, that's how they be in the or like when the men be killing the whole family, they be like, "Oh, he shouldn't have did that." Okay. Okay.
One of the biggest issues I feel like even today, though, that they allow so much time to go by, you know what I mean? So much bonding to happen. These men, you know, grow attached to these kids. And in our community, a lot of times too, we don't have that anymore. And then for later on, you find out when they're adults or when they're teens that they're not yours. It changes the whole dynamic, you know, in that situation. A lot of us, from what I've seen lately, we try to step up and still continue to be there, but it's still not the same, you know.
Z, you've been quiet.
That was a lot. I'm like, I could go back and say a lot, the whole best friend thing and all of that, but Yeah, it's just like, you know what? I think some of it is education. Seriously, it's a lot of females, and when I'm watching these shows and all with the DNA test, it's like they're really not educated. They'll be in a relationship, they'll have sex with somebody, and then just because they break up, and then 3 weeks later they have sex with somebody else, they never ever consider they could be pregnant by this person. Like they'll look at the guy and they really believe in their heart, like you're the father. I haven't been with anybody else. Yeah, not since y'all got together in those 3 weeks. You know, it's like they don't consider the whole timing or nothing. Some of them they're lying on purpose. Some of them they just not educated. They're not keeping track of their cycle, or they don't know how many people they slept with. But it's just it's so for real. It's so unfair to the guy. I feel like there should be automatic DNA tests for everybody because that whole mama's baby, papa's baby. I've been on both sides of that. I've got attached to kids that I thought was my, my niece or my nephew. I watched my parents get attached, and all the while they're not the grandparents. You know what I mean? Like it affects so many people when you get it wrong or when you lie. You breaking people's hearts. You got your family thinking that this is my grandchild, this is my grandson, and you're wrong for how many years, you know? And then you got people going years where you get contacted, oh, you never told this guy you were pregnant by him and you thought you were pregnant. It's just so much. I, it's so much I could say about the whole situation, but I just feel like it's so unfair to the guy. It's so unfair. They really think, you got guys that come to every doctor's appointment. They like, helping you with all your cravings. They really there the whole way, the whole step. Then a year or two later, find out that there's no blood connection. This child is not their child. And at this point, they still want to be in that child's life, and they still care. So it's just messed up. I think some of it is like I said, the honesty and the education. Like, be honest with yourself. How many? You might be embarrassed, but hey, that should tell you something. If you don't know how many people you've been with, you don't know their names. You don't. It's so unfair to the child too. Can y'all hear me?
I am not even. I can't even disagree with anything that's been said so far. Like this is the reality that we live in. Like
You like the
I was
reality we live in?
I didn't say I like it at all because
Oh,
I'm on the side of I don't have to do that whole thing. Like I've been down there where I had to get tested to see, but it still was kind of fucked up because I missed out on a couple years. But that's about it. And it still kind of fucks me to this day, only because like I missed a couple years, like the years that you normally would build this solid bond with your child. But it was also under some chicanery situations, which I do not care to go into. But that's a story for another time.
Started crying for a minute.
okay.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. And I don't want to be called into court next week because of this. I'm already taking a chance with this
I
conversation.
feel like I just feel like, I have a son. I only have one son, and we're nowhere there yet. But when the time comes that, like, once he starts having sex and somebody say they're pregnant by him, to me, the advice I'm going to give my son, I don't care how long they've been together or how happy they are, I would want my son to have a DNA test. That's just how I feel. And
Mm,
I feel like all men should just automatically be granted that because the woman can tell you anything. Like I said, and it's your life too. You shouldn't have to find out something different years down the line. I think that should be
mm,
automatic. And I mean, that's what I'm going to advise him. Like, I'll even tell the young lady, like, hey, I like you, I love you, be cool and everything, but I feel like my son, I feel like all men should automatically be able to have a DNA test without question, without the female even complaining, because he deserves to have that same certainty that she has. That's how I see it.
mm.
I'll play
And
my
what
clip.
about, huh? What? Oh,
I'll
your
play.
clip. I'm sorry. Totally forgot about that clip. Sorry. Wait, I don't know.
Yeah, it went
Excuse
quiet.
us,
Yeah,
technical
somebody.
difficulty. I was looking for it. I'm like, yeah, where's that clip at again?
Because they both are extreme situations, but one was more state, they when they get the state involved, that's more of a clusterfuck because now everything is out of your hands. Like you have no choice in anything. Uh, I think some women be having to pay child support also. I think some women abandon the kids sometimes to make single fathers, but it's not as heard of as the other way around.
Say that last part again. I'm sorry.
Meaning like if a woman has a baby, but then she leaves, and then now you got a single father. That happens sometimes, but it's not as heard of.
That's the rarest thing I've ever heard of.
It happens though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm not going to stand here and act like all guys are stand-up guys that'll just stay for the child because there are those that just walk like, oh no, I'm out. You know what I mean? But and they have to take accountability for that. But there's also those women that just tell the motherfucker go, and then they'll tell them to go, and 5 months, 6 months later, they'll go, oh, by the way, I need you to pay after I already told you to go. You feel me? Like you did, like my perspective would think, like if a woman could tell a man, I don't need you, then don't need me all the way.
Well, it's funny, sorry, but it's funny that you said that because actually, like I said, I recently go through a divorce. I actually don't pay child support for that reason because I've had years of talks with my wife. I'm like, if you choose to leave, but then you get me for child support, that's not fair. Like you chose to leave. Like, I'm here doing everything I can. You just decide one day that you don't want to do it no more, and you leave. Like I still continue to support my kid, but once you get the government involved in our affairs because of a choice that you made, that she made, or as an individual, you know, and you go get other parties involved now, it does me damage. For years, I think here in New Jersey now they changed it though, but they would suspend your driver's license, uh, put warrants out for your arrest. And I don't know how that is in the benefit of the child, or how can I get a job or transport myself now? Also going through these issues. So it really doesn't benefit anybody, the child, the man, uh, so that's one thing when we get the government involved in our relationships. Um, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have, even with these discussions. They employ a lot of things in our household. I feel like they're trying to keep us from having that family aspect, or gaining that back, so we can have that strong household. Because now they're more able to have us do what they want us to do without the man in the house. Um, they're more able to get to the children. You know.
Mm. Yeah, sad to say, but I actually do agree. That does seem to be the whole point of child support systems that are in place, is to tear families apart. Because I'm not gonna hold you. There's a couple people that were put on child support, and they just told me was like, I'm out. Like I was, you were in a way you were getting more from me without this court being involved, and now the court's telling me what I have to give. Like, all right, fine, I'm gonna give you what the court said, but don't ask me for anything above that at all. The rest is on you because this is what you chose.
Exactly.
Some judges handle it very well though. Like if a woman isn't working, it was one woman in particular. She was living with her parents, not working, but wanted the man to still provide the lifestyle as if they were married. Basically, the judge was like, "That's not how that works. It's child support. If you wanted all of the benefits of being with him, you should be with him." So she was like, "You getting like the minimum payment versus had you just been an upstanding woman, like handled your business basically." So some of
That's
them
a
don't get away with it.
that's a rare occasion because there's a lot of women that are like just sitting at home collecting child support and just living off of that and getting the maximum.
I know
The
I know a
maximum.
few I know a few cases, just a few, where the woman is receiving child support and she's actually using it like for what it's supposed to be for. Like it actually helps her send her kids to college, to actually take care of them. But I just feel like the most part from what I see, keeping it real, family and friends, all the people I've crossed in my path or whatever, a lot of the child support is bitterness. It's bitterness. You had an argument with the dude or he was something. A lot of it is bitterness. And I'm not for taking my kids their father to child support. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do, And I've said to them, like, that's between you and your child, between you, your child, and God. I got this. I'm doing what I got to do. I take care of my kids. You jump in or you don't, but I'm not going to force you or beg you,
Mm.
which I didn't have to, because my thing is, if you see that this man is doing his personal best, according to his personal income, whether he told you what that is or not, if you see that he's calling, you see he's coming through, he's spending time with his kids, either he's coming through with groceries or maybe he only gave you $10, but he's doing something. And then you should know this man a little bit from, lay with him, had a kid. Like, if he's really trying or not. If you know he's trying and he's doing his personal best, I think that's really bitter to like go and get the government involved for things that's gonna mess him up down the line that prevent him from being with his child. Now he got to speak to his child, from jail or whatever. That's just a whole big. Like I said, a lot of that is bitterness. If you're like really on good terms with somebody and y'all both love this child, that's to me, the child support is not necessary. It's unfortunate if you have to take somebody to child support, but all that bitterness when this man is struggling or this man is already doing his best, for me personally, I don't see the need. I have been against it. I've refused to take my kids there for child support, and also because I know he was always doing whatever he could. And if I call and say, "Oh, I need this and that," he's gonna come through with it. So taking you for child support to what? To get more when I knew you already giving your best because what? You got a new girlfriend or you got another baby on the way or something?
That's the other side of things too.
I'm not big on the child support thing. I feel like because, well, to me, in my opinion, most of the men that's not paying child support on their own, most of the men that's not involved are the same men that didn't want you to have the baby in the first place. Those are the same men that begged you to abort it or whatever, but because it was your body and your choice, you decided to make him a father, whether he wanted to be or not. Now you want him to take care of this child, whether he wants to or not. But he never wanted the child. You decided to have the child. Most of the men that are not in that situation are the ones that are taking care of the kids.
I'm glad you brought that side up because that was the next part of this conversation. The next question that I was going to ask was, if a woman should have the right to choose whether or not to have the child, shouldn't a man have the right to choose whether or not he should pay? Because I look at it from this perspective.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't make a judge. I can't go to a judge and tell him and ask him, "Can you make her have this baby?" So why should you be able to go to a judge and say, "Can you make him pay child support?"
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yeah, I don't want the child. Like I'm just
Matter.
not me personally. I don't want the child. You want the child. I
Don't
told you I
matter.
want the kids. You still want to have a kid. Like we both don't want. We said at one point, I'm not ready for kids. I don't want a kid. Da da da. But shit happens, right? So now you're pregnant. I'm still under my stand on my 2 feet. I do not want children, and you decide I want to keep the kid.
Well,
Okay, you keep the kid. Leave it the fuck alone. Now on the other side of things, I want the child, as a guy, as a male, I want the child. You don't want the child. I cannot make you have that child. Now, all this true equality stuff, why not it apply? Why can't it apply to that as well? I want a child. I want to be able to make. If I want the child and you don't, we should have to go to court to determine whether or not she has the baby or not. The same way we gotta go to court to determine whether I pay or not, we should have to go to court to determine whether or not you have this baby.
yeah.
Thoughts?
Morally speaking, on both behalves, if the man didn't want kids, Why conceive one? Right?
I said shit happens.
Okay, so in the case that she does have it, morally speaking, she would say, okay, you don't want it, I'll carry the burden. But you did put the baby in her, so I mean,
Hey, there were two parts, two sides of that baby getting put inside you too. So
yeah, but
no. See, I'm glad you said yeah, but because I am tired of females just constantly not. No offense to you, no offense. I'm just saying y'all like yeah, but no, there's no yeah, but that's what it is. We both laid down. Shit came out of it.
you, you can't do it to ourselves.
And
But go ahead.
I
You know where I'm going with this, right? You already know where I'm
say that.
going with this. Like, wait. This is an
But
equal exchange. This is an equal exchange between two human beings.
okay, but
And
the
y'all,
end of the day depends on you.
She might even
uh-oh.
get a miscarriage.
Say that again?
She might say she had a miscarriage and she had an abortion. I said the woman is going to do what she want to do because it's her body, and that's tell you she had a miscarriage. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. She might get an abortion and say she had a miscarriage. She might not be pregnant and say she's pregnant. Like, it's really crazy when it comes to women and those things, but she's going to do what she want to do because it's her body and she's the one carrying it. And I just, like I said, that ain't cool with me because y'all both laid down. You didn't conceive that child on your own. And actually, if you want to get technical, it's not your child. You're carrying. When you use the terminology, you hear somebody say, "I want you to have my baby." When a man says to you, "I want you to have my baby," that's because you can't do that shit on your own. That seed is in his body. He's going to transfer it to your body, and he chose you to be the woman to carry those children. You're saying so it started in the man's body. Like, how you going to exclude him when this child couldn't have been conceived without him? It originated in his body. You feel me? Y'all laid together. Now you have his child growing in your body, and you get to decide what you're going to do with his child because you're carrying it. That's not cool with me.
What came
No.
first?
Like when me and my kids
We the chicken. Hold up.
we used to talk like, yeah, you know, y'all, my body was your house. Y'all grew up. You know, you grew in my belly. I was your first. Then no, for real. Then they like, no, I'm saying their dad is like, hold up. He's like, you wasn't their first home. He was like, they came from my body. Like, technically, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I was your first home. He's like, no, y'all, you wasn't the first home because those kids came to me. Like, and that's how we say it. Like, I want you to have my baby, the mother of my children. That's what I'm saying. The baby is coming from your body. And how does the woman get to decide all on her own what she does, you know, just because you're not carrying the child, because it's not growing in your body. Like I said, it takes two. And if it takes two for consent for everything else, then like I said, it should take the father to have a say so whether or not he wants to keep that child or not.
Or pay child support.
And if he don't, then hey, you be one of those women be like, look, I had this baby, he told me he wanted, so I'm gonna take no, be one of them women to say, look, you had this baby, you knew he didn't want it, all right, I'm gonna take care of it myself. Instead of, oh, I had this baby, he didn't want it, but guess what? I'm gonna make you take care of it, whether you have the career to take care of it, whether you want to take care of it, whether you have the mentality, I'm gonna make you take care of it because I can.
Yeah, we both laid down, but I wasn't pregnant until we did. So,
Yep. And you have to take partial fault in why you're pregnant too. So it's not just on the guy all the time.
and of who you sleeping with. We forget about these conservative values that we had as families a lot of times, that and this is one situation, like the government also is messing it up. We have these accesses to things that are for what we would say special cases, right? Like, you know, we'll go see a doctor to get this performance messed up because it's something that it was an error in our decision, right? Or who we chose to be with, or we didn't want to have this baby or whatever, right? But why are we doing the business in the first place? You know, we actually got to take responsibility for that in the first place. You know, we got contraceptives, whatever, you know what I mean? And a lot of times we don't want to take responsibility for using that either. And it shouldn't be blamed solely on the man or just like, oh, it's my body or whatever, especially if the man want to step up. You know, you have their families, their moms, their grandparents or whatever saying that they will do all they can to take care of the baby. Like, I feel like if that child's life, the overall span of the responsibility of taking care of that child is taken from the mother and all she has to do is carry it for 9 months, I mean, that should be a reasonable, you know what I mean, choice.
Right. Yeah. I see. Yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah.
9 months
You,
over 18 plus years. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's more than fair. I think that's so fair.
Let's come back to my argument. Every time we have sex, you don't make a child. So what's preventing you from making one in the first place?
A partner.
Then you're choosing to get that person pregnant, right?
Not necessarily.
Why not?
Well, what did I say? I said you lay down with a person and just shit happens. I didn't say how it happened. I just said
What's
shit happens.
what's the shit that's happened? Like, why is it over
I don't
the
know. The rare cases where I don't know, you pushed too hard and you broke through the condom. The condom came off mid stroke. We can go down a whole list of. I mean, and then there's all these other options of you didn't use a condom and you told Abe, I pull out game song. Well, you were just a little bit too slow and fuck it. You fucked up. Shit happens. Again, shit happens. Right? Right. Am I right or wrong? Like, am I crazy for saying it?
what scenario we're talking about?
I said shit happens. I'm covering all bases. I'm not going to just limit myself to one thing happening. I'm covering all bases by saying stuff happens. Hell, there's that one. There's always that one incident where you in the midst of things and they on top of you like get off me and they like no, and they do the little clamp thing and they can't get off you. Now they got
Okay.
you.
Can you play
Yeah.
so I can get into my
I gotta send me the link to that video so I can pull it up on YouTube.
it's
Yeah.
on Facebook. You can't find it on YouTube.
Now you want me to go on Facebook and show that? All right, let me go on my Facebook and find that one.
In that situation, that was a perfect situation of my body, my choice, but that was also scandalous. Here's a lack of a better word because she was married to a man, had one of his children, that had 3 more that wasn't his, but one of them paid child support for all 4 children. They're not his. So why would he have to? Morally speaking, of course, it may not go the way he wants to, but because logic just goes over a lot of people's heads. But if somebody has choice, if he chose to do that, so why should he have to have consequences? Because 3 out of 4 children.
it's funny that you said that too. I had a coworker. He was telling me his ex-wife. He had a daughter with his ex-wife, and she had an older child before they got married, and she never got the first child, like her first child's father, on child support. But when they got divorced, she actually tried to get him to pay child support for both her kids.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do we all want the man that stepped up out of good faith to carry everything? That's still not his responsibility at all. He was just being a good person in the moment. That's not.
Usually, that's what happens, though. Is the good guy that gets trapped. You know, like.
I'm going to try and check out this video again. I'm still working on this. Y'all got bear with me. Code tab. All right, and here we go. Get all that off the screen. There we go. Can you hear it?
A judge ruled Wise must continue paying 2 years ago, a family doctor informed Wise that genetic tests confirmed he was not a carrier of cystic fibrosis.
And that's when he said, you know, there's no way that this boy could be yours.
Paternity tests revealed Wise did not father Rowley or his two other sons, Marty and Rowdy. Of his 4 children, only the oldest, Carly, was biologically his.
I am their dad. I'm just not your birth father.
Wise never questioned paternity at the time he and the children's mother divorced in 1996. But now he says
Child support needs to come from their biological father.
Texas law disagrees. A judge ruled Wise must continue paying $1,100 a month in child support and then revoked his visitation for telling the boys he was not their birth father. Phyllis Royal represents Wanda Fryer, the children's mother.
These children know Morgan Wise's dad, and basically he's emotionally scarred these children.
The emotional aspect, the psychological aspect has already been inflicted. So what's left? Money. That's it. She wants the money. He doesn't want to pay it.
The courts have always assumed that a child born within a marriage was fathered by the husband. Morgan Wise is the only dad his children have ever.
No, that's a big no. That's a big no.
That's fucked up.
So this is what I was saying though, like how things happen right outside of conservative values that the court really don't recognize.
And then
you
once
know?
you sign that birth certificate,
Yeah, once you sign the birth certificate, that you're the father. And I was told by my father,
wow,
who's not on my birth certificate. But you know, it's just crazy.
wow.
You're right. You notice that all the females are laughing and we not?
Right.
Did you pick up on that? The women are laughing. I'm pissed right now.
I'm saying she wrong and she knows she wrong. Like, you just stand back and he got to continue to take care of these kids. Like, that's an insult to injury. Like, damn, I mean,
and then he can't.
It's bad enough they not. It's like, guess what? You're going to take care of them whether you like it or not.
And can't see it.
What if technically he has one biological child? He can't even go have other children with somebody else right now. He only got one biological, but he got to take care of 4 of them. He can't even actually go have another child with somebody else right now because he's too busy taking care of these kids that ain't his. That's fucked up.
It was funny.
It's not funny.
They say you because you told them you're not their dad. He not. He not. Bro.
He's not.
I don't know.
But look,
So,
even if you're not married, it's just a matter of signing that birth certificate, right? Like, once you sign that birth certificate, even if you're not the father, like, you linked in for life. You got to keep paying child support if they put you on child support, right? I mean,
yeah.
See, now bring it back to the DNA. Like I said, before a man signed that birth certificate, I think he should be entitled to a complimentary DNA test. It's just complimentary.
She said complimentary.
Papa signed the birth certificate. They result, and now you can, with assurance, make a conscious decision whether or not you still want to sign his birth certificate after the DNA results. That's what I'm saying.
Like, where you
married
sign
or
that?
not married or whatever. See, that would alleviate all that bullshit if y'all just get y'all entitled to a complimentary DNA. As soon as the woman says it's your baby, cut all of that. Cut all of that. That's fucked up. Seriously, it would avoid all of that. Oh, you married just because you married. I heard of other stories like that too. It'd be like, I think it was like 5 kids or something, like none of them was his. Like, wow. Well,
hey, just don't
complimentary DNA test for everybody before you sign.
I feel like we taking all the risks in these relationships, man.
I would have to agree. It's kind of a.
We need to take that back a few decades.
It's kind of like it's a lose-lose situation for a male.
I even seen a TikTok video that blew my mind because the girl was teaching girls like about this stuff. And she said basically, she was like, you guys have 6 baby dads from one guy. You guys can only get 30% of his income. She said, I got 6 baby dads by 6 different guys, and I got 30% of all their incomes. You know, like,
damn.
People work the system.
Yeah, she's like, I ain't got work.
Not funny. That's not funny. That's not funny. That's a damn shame.
It's a whole business
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
it is.
It is. It is a
That's
business.
about it, and I'm like,
Hold up,
wow, like
this is big business. I'm saying, that's a business-minded individual. You're gonna have another one too by another man to get 30% of his, more money. Like, wow.
yeah, it's scary.
Wow.
Thing, it's
Oh
scary.
my God, that's crazy.
I'm nervous that you actually put that out on this stream because someone's going to listen to us and go,
Exactly. Really? Yep. Like that. That's
I'll
what
never have to work again for the next
thought
18
about
years.
So I was like, oh wow. Like,
wow.
30% of the income. Well, guess I'm going to get me an $8 an hour job so you can get 30% of that income and only work 20 hours a week.
You know, they're gonna be at the table.
I'm thinking, y'all. Just think, how many women do we know right now? How many?
A lot. Most of them.
How many women do we know right now that got 6 children with 6
A lot. I know a couple.
Wow.
Well, no, I won't say 6, but I know, like, you know, they got more than one. About 3 or 4 of them, you know.
Over there counting.
Ooh, I got some terrible friends.
Oh.
I don't want to keep counting my fingers. I was just like, 3. Oh shit! I just did 2 hands. I'm not counting my toes on TV. So 11.
Another case is like when the women keep having babies to keep food stamps and whatever else they be offering at the welfare building, but don't be taking care of the kids. Like, you know how much they be getting back on their taxes, and the kids still be looking dusty. Like,
and this is what I'm saying though. The one that was saying it had nails done, her hair done, and everything. Like, but what her kids are looking like? Does her kids have new clothes? You know what I mean? Like,
No. What they'll say is that goes toward the rent.
Oh, I've been told that. My mom used to say that.
We gotta get you some better internet, Z.
You gotta go to the rent.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
looking around
go to the
like,
roof. Go to the roof.
Yeah, that's the excuse they'll say is, oh, your child support went toward the rent because they need a place to live.
So my father one day, he was like, "Oh, I give your mom $360 a week or whatever. Like, she not giving it to you?" And I'm like, "Nah." She tell me go to the roof over my head. So one day we get in an argument. We live with my grandma. We get in an argument, and my mom goes to say that again. She's asking me for money, and I'm like, "Oh, my dad give you, this much. I don't see none of it." She's like, "Oh, go to the roof over your head." And my grandma stopped her. She was like, "Stop right there." She's like, "Don't be lying to that boy. I don't charge rent." And I was like, "What? Like, you don't pay rent?" Like, where my money at?
Oh, clutch my pearls. What? Nana outage? Whoa. Whoa.
Because once you
shout out to grandma. You're a real one. You don't pay right here. Get that boy his money. You be what? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
It's like a slippery slope. If you need child support, you probably abusing the whole system. Like, they probably on Section 8, so they rent probably like $30. So I mean,
I'm not gonna touch that one. Not touch that one at all. Like my hands on that one. Nope. Again. Yeah. I already knew when I started this stream that this was gonna get kind of a little hot. And it's going. Yeah, I already got I already got 2 text messages. All right, I'm already in trouble. So yeah. Oh yeah, 3. There you go.
I've watched like my stepson father get arrested for child support warrants, and then like have other warrants, right? And you make bail somehow, but still, it doesn't even go to child support because he had other issues, whatever. You know what I mean? So like, literally, my ex got nothing, even from when she did go for child support. So it's
I looked up the child support recently, and a fact popped up that the amount of money that people pay for child support, only 10% actually goes to the child.
yes,
Only 10% of what we pay goes to the mother of the child or the person that's collecting child support. The other 20% goes into a trust for the state.
yep. And the state invests that in the global economy, and they make their money. They give you
It is
change.
a it is a business. Child support is literally a business. I think you would rather I give you my child support money out of my pocket than you go to a court and only get like 10% of what they're making me pay.
Man, I was big balling. Back in my dad, like, can I get $300? Yeah, I got a lot of my money in my hand.
I think that would be easier for all parents involved. Like, yeah, such and such need sneakers. Here you go. Rather than saying, oh, well, you're going to be paying me $400 a month child support, maybe even more than that. I don't know how. I really don't know how it works. How much is it weekly now? They make you pay weekly, monthly. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they take a portion out of your check, whatever. If you buy weekly, or whatever like that, they take a certain percentage out of that check.
So some people pay like 300 every 2 weeks. Some people pay like 400 every 2 weeks. That's like
Yeah,
800 a month. That's a car payment. So yeah.
that's a hell of a car payment.
That's a hell of a car payment. That's a bad credit card payment. I'm just saying. Like, yeah. So you want me to pay you 800 a month for my child when I can do more for him without that? Let me think about that.
Everybody know criminals aren't the smartest.
What? Criminals aren't the smartest. Who's the criminal? The baby moms? The baby dads? The baby. I'm glad you said yeah, because this is the first time you ever seen anything in a positive toward a male on this whole stream. You know, laughed at us. You know, shot down that whole idea of hey, it's both of us. No, it's the man's fault. You did that. You didn't take it accountability and lay it down with the man either. I'm telling you, you just seem to be on pro woman choice. No offense.
Saying
Uh-huh.
from you though.
Yeah, but she had the choice too. She had the choice too.
That's how it should be. I'm just morally speaking. Of course, everyone should take the mature route, but everybody isn't mature, so.
Mostly women.
But me, I'm pro-choice.
So you should allow us to be pro-choice.
Yeah, I've never said that. Okay, remember when we first brought up the situation, right? It was like, oh, it's your body.
Your body, your choice. My money, my choice. Come on, people, follow me. Your body, your choice. My wallet, my choice. Come on, people. Let's start the slogan now. Let's get that word out there. Let's spread it around the world. My wallet, my choice.
Remember you brought up the circumcision? Because how is it our bodies are clean, but y'all circumcise every baby boy that's born? How you know he ain't want his skin?
Hey. Yeah.
Every boy is circumcised though.
Yeah, that's true. It depends on the parent.
Yeah, but for exactly, but the parent makes the choice for that child. Why not? Like, why isn't it a universal thing? Like,
because it hurts when you get older. Get it out the way early. It does. I know somebody that's had it done. Whew. Ouch. Yeah. It's worse when you get older.
Yeah, you gotta wear a diaper if you do it when you're older.
And a lot of gauze. Yep. You cool, bro, but I do not want to hear the story about how much that hurts. Keep that to yourself.
Yeah, it's just a lot of things that
But I'm just
fall.
saying. I mean, can we try to spread that word around? Social media, my wallet, my choice, your body, your choice.
Again,
So
morally, would
that
be a
would be
good.
true equality, though, wouldn't it?
It would be in a perfect world.
Bless you. I think I just heard Uriah sneeze.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
I'm good. I'm good. I can hear everything. Come on, I'm in the matrix right now.
mm, yeah, but there
Sigh.
was.
I'm getting silence now.
I think they
Nobody
give
can.
you when you go request for a child support check, don't they?
They what?
They give DNA tests when you request for child support.
Yeah, they do.
So then it should be an issue.
But it's already
Why?
too late at that point.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's too late.
By the time they go get that done, you're behind. You're arrears.
Yeah, I already
Most
signed
often.
it.
Okay. Okay. So are we only talking about child support as far as financial child support?
All support.
She's like, if you being forced, I'm saying if you being forced to pay child support financially, to take care of it financially, and you don't want to because you didn't want the child, then are you giving other child support? Like, are we talking about spending time, showing up to shows at school, parent teacher meetings, so, like you didn't want this child, you're already paying for it. I'm saying child support is more than just the financial part. So you being forced to pay child support, so do you still get involved with the child or you just pay the child support? You know what I'm saying?
Good
We talking
question.
about child support, but it's more than just finances.
Yeah,
Listen.
and
I mean, you
I
being
agree.
forced to pay for the child, do you need to be forced to spend time with the child too, or do you just say, well, you know what? I didn't want this kid. Y'all making me pay for it. I'll pay for it, but I'm not coming around. I'm not going to pick them up. I'm not spending time with them. I mean, that's child support too.
But isn't that his choice though?
So
Like
chances are, if
that
you're being forced to
that
pay, you're not
that
coming
would be
around
fair.
for
Like if
holidays.
I'm forced to be a
You
a,
being,
a financial support person, then you can't. If I'm forced to financially support a child that from the door I said I didn't want, and you knew I didn't want, then you should not expect me to come around either. I'm sorry, you shouldn't, because you're forcing all of it on me. Now you're forcing me to be a present parent, not just a financial parent. You're forcing me to be a parent that I was not, that I didn't want to be. So fine, you getting your little money
so
out
they
of me?
complain about it.
You getting your little money out of me?
I'm
Guess
saying,
what? I'm gone. Here's your check every month. Leave me the fuck alone. I mean, that's fair for those people.
and
I'm
those
not
are the
those
dads
people,
that
but that's fair for those people. Say what?
and those
Uh
are the
oh.
deadbeat dads, the ones that didn't want to be a dad in the first place.
Yeah.
But
That
you
and
had the baby
that's sad.
regardless. Now you
Yeah.
make him pay child support, and now you talk shit about him to everybody about how he don't never come see this child, he don't play this, and this still again, he did not want this child at all. But it was your body, your choice. You made the choice to have it, force him to pay child support, and then call him a deadbeat dad for a child he never wanted. Because it's your body, your choice. And so that's
Hmm.
how we get there.
Can you add your brother on?
Oh, you want me to add him on?
Yeah, add your brother.
I don't know if y'all want me to do this.
Do it.
You asked for this. Just remember, you definitely did ask for this. Uh, whew, okay. Please continue this the conversation while I take care of this thing. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it all keeps coming back to this whole my body, my choice. No matter what, because this woman makes the decision, and from that decision that she makes, tells the next at least 18 years of both of y'all, like whether you get considered to be a deadbeat because you won't take care of this child that you ain't want, that you was never even capable of taking care of, and you told her you didn't have an education or you don't have a job, or that whatever your reasons was why you didn't want the child, you told her. But now you on child support, you all messed up in the system, and you consider deadbeat dad for this child that you didn't want. Now, on the other side of that is if you did want it, guess what? She could still abort it.
Exactly.
hurting that she killed this baby, or is that, you know what I'm saying? She goes, even if you want it, there's a lot of men out there. There's a lot of men out there hurt to this day and still sad about this baby they almost had because the woman decided to abort it, but he wanted it. There's that side of it too. I know plenty of them. But like I said, to me, it all comes back to the unfairness that is her body, is her choice. So she gets to kill your child even if you want it, and she gets to keep your child if you don't want it, and now you're deadbeat. Like, she's deciding your fate. You lay down with a woman, you get up and she's going to decide your fate. That's what y'all need to understand. When you lay down with her, if you conceive a child, she's deciding your fate and your future. That's what it all keeps coming back to.
Mm-hmm. What? Be careful with your
Like,
choices.
like
That's
I
all it
said,
is.
to me, it all keeps coming back to that. That's why it needs to be a safe zone. That's why it needs to be a safe zone for home. Yeah. You know how many less abortions you have if you needed the mother and the father's signature? First of all, you got to make sure you know who the fuck father is. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got to sort that out. You running DNA tests for I don't know how many dudes. You know what I'm saying? You know how much the numbers would drop if you had to have both parent signatures like you need for an adoption?
Mm. Mm.
And that's like my stance on it. Like I'm a bit of both. Like I'm pro-choice and pro-life though. Like I feel like we just need it needs to be clearer, like legality to it. Like they need to just oversee, like when we abuse, you know what I mean, the facilities and the doctors, you know, our privileges. That's it. I don't feel like they should have the right to tell us what we can and can't do. I think the men should have more of a choice in the matter. But for as far as women go, I don't feel like nobody has the right to really tell you what to do with the body, with your body, unless you decide to, you know, if you decide to, if somebody decides to co-parent or whatever. I do think like that's another case where that's another the topic between the two parents or whatever. But far as like law and everything, I don't think it should be abolished. um you know, we hearing stories, 10-year-old girls getting pregnant now, not being able
Right.
to do anything about. I find that horrible. It's traumatizing. um and also we got to think about the situations in the livelihoods of what we're putting these kids into. You know, more so to say is that the world is not really made for kids. You know, today, and yeah, we're not really preparing this earth for them. Like, and we should be. Uh, but it's the government shouldn't be up in our house, up in our bodies the way that they are, to sit there and say, oh, well, this all across the board is a no go. You know, you got
Mm.
people raped, molested, stuff like that. They should be able to get treatment. If you have mental, illnesses that might be life threatening for the women or for the child themselves. Maybe the child has an illness or something that the parents can't won't be able to deal with or whatever. They shouldn't allow parents to carry, you know, full term or whatever if they know like the kid is going to be complications with the birth process or whatever the case may be. So it definitely should not be abolished. But I do think both sides definitely should be able to have a choice, like, and especially the man, because we ain't got no say at all, especially if we're in a relationship. Like, even if you got a wife, you know what I mean, she can go and get the procedure done and not have to, you know what I mean. You ain't got to sign nothing.
In some states, I can't say that for all states, but in some states, she actually does have to get the permission of the husband to have it
Okay,
done.
okay.
Which it should be universally across the board,
It should.
but there's some states that'll say that you actually have to. Are you married? Yeah. He has to be here too. Oh.
Yeah.
So like, if the right to choose is taken away, in a small way, it's not going to matter because there was always abortion. Like, you think back in my parents' day and in their parents, it was always somebody, was always some doctor, some medically knowledgeable person that for X amount of dollars will perform this abortion for you. And there will always be doctors, just like, you know, I'm just saying, we're going to put it like this, people that kind of fix you up in a hood, like when you can't go to the hospital and somebody fix you up, we're going to put it like that. okay, well, it's always somebody that can fix you up. If you're pregnant, you don't be pregnant no more. And but that could be dangerous. Instead of just allowing these people to have it, that could be dangerous. People get sick, people die, their equipment and stuff is not clean. But I'm just saying there will always be a way, just like before weed was legal, like everybody's gonna always find a way to do whatever they want to do. It's always been a way out there, it's always gonna be a way. But to me, it's the difference between making it safe or not. So I mean, I think that rights should be out there only because I've had an abortion before, and even when I had it, believe it or not, I actually didn't believe in it. I had a lot of fear, but I was afraid, and I was not taught that way. Like it wasn't something I believed in, so I regretted that. But and it should have been a choice that I feel like for my decision, I should have went through it. I should have been made to go through it. I should have been made to stand up to my responsibility. That's how I feel, because it wasn't like a rape situation or like my life was on the line. If I have this baby, I'm gonna die. It could be fatal to me or something like that. I think it's exceptions why people should have that right to choose for medical issues and stuff like that, but not as like a way like that's your form of birth control. Like, oh, if I get pregnant, I'm gonna just go get it taken care of. Then 3 months later, you back having another abortion because instead of using protection, your method of birth control is to just go get an abortion. You know what I'm saying? It's women out there that's to me that's trifling. It's not. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be used as your form of birth control because instead of buying condoms or going to Planned Parenthood or whatever, you just go get an abortion. Like killing your child is not a form of birth control. That.
Where your brother at?
If I say it like that, that makes it very, very debatable. If I say kill your child, because that brings up a whole other topic. You got people that'll tell you that's a whole different topic because it can be argued. When is the baby considered a baby? When is it considered life? You know what I mean? So it's like, oh well, it's not considered murder. So maybe I shouldn't say it that way, but I'm saying getting an abortion shouldn't be like that's your form of birth control. You just get this shit. This just happens all the time. I know people have 6 and 7 abortions.
Yeah. It's funny that because actually that's one of my biggest issues with it, and that's why I always put the government into it, because I feel like they need to draw a clear line. I mean, we hear cases where people accidentally get killed.
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
He's here. You asked for this. Remember, people.
Let's go.
They accidentally get killed, whether it be like a car accident, maybe I'm texting or something like that. I get in a car accident, a woman's 2 weeks, maybe she's only 2 weeks pregnant. I would get hit with it's possible that I can get charged with vehicular manslaughter for 2 people instead of 1. When she was only 2 weeks pregnant, she could be on her way to the clinic, whatever. So like it needs to be like guidelines. They need to basically say, well, this is that, this is a fetus, this is a child, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but there's nothing in writing that clarifies that really. We got scientists that say stuff, but like law wise, there's nothing to say.
You did this. You did this. You did this, Candy. You did this.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I got this new headset in my ear.
Excuse me 1 second. I gotta do my little spiel. Welcome to the room. My younger brother. See, I didn't say the lie. Doc Rizzo, and that's what we're going to call him here. Yeah.
Oh, y'all can call me whatever. It don't matter. Y'all gonna probably call me the most hated man in America after this. Here's what I'm gonna say as far as the right to choose. I believe a woman should have the right to choose her body, her choice. But the flip side is a man should have the right to choose. I look at it like this. If women can decide who gets born and doesn't get born in this country, men should be able to decide whether they want to even participate. Because right now, what you have a lot of situations where man and woman lay down together. The woman comes up pregnant. She comes to the man. She says, "Hey, I'm pregnant." Right now, he just looks at her and says, "Well, what you want to do?" Because he has no say. And he doesn't want to come off a certain type of way to her. But imagine if he could say to her, "I don't want to be a father. I'm not ready for that responsibility." and she said, well, I'm gonna have it anyway. And then he could then turn around to her and say, okay, you can have it, but I'm going to the courthouse and I'm going to sign all my rights away. So he can do a financial abortion. Do you think that woman would still have that kid?
Probably not.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. You can't have it. You can't have it where the man has to be quiet. Because I'm going to keep it real. We live in a clown world right now. If men weren't told to shut up, we wouldn't be where we are today. All this, I'm all for equal rights for everybody. But what we have going on right now is equal rights when it benefits certain people. You got to take the good and the bad that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? I believe that if we get back to the nuclear family, all this abortion stuff is out the window. The moment that men were removed from the house, delusion came into the house. We all grew up in the hood where mommy had a friend that would come by. Well, guess what? That friend was actually the father of the kids in those houses a lot of times. So as long as he was kept out, the government was allowed to be in. I just posted a video the other day that actually explains this specifically, where the husband had to hide in the house. I can't remember what show it was from, but it was very accurate. The caseworker came to the house, and when she got there, the kids were, oh, mommy, Miss So-and-so's here. What was it? But I can't remember what show it was. I'm not sure. It looked like a modern day sitcom. I don't remember the name of it. But the caseworker came to the house. The kids looked outside and said, "Mommy, so and so's here." And the dad was getting dressed for work, and she ran to him and said, "Hey, you gotta hide because she can't know you're here." So he's hiding in the closet. She's hiding the fact that they got a color TV in the house. She's hiding that they got all these luxuries in the house for that time period, because it was a show based on like back in the 70s. And they're hiding all these things. So then the caseworker comes in, and this is a man in his own home, and he's hiding in a closet because she doesn't want her benefits from the government to be taken away. Mind you, he works. So then, as she's taking the woman through the house and talking to her, everything like that, they go to a different room. The dad tries to slip through and go into another closet. He's trying to hide in another closet. Well, the caseworker sees him, brings him out, and says, well, if you're living here, I need to know who you are. The clip ends right there. But that is a great summary of what has happened, especially in the Black community. That's a great summary of what has happened to the nuclear family. Give me 1 second.
And it's true. It happens all the time.
Stop at school to take her electric scooter. Would you like to go with us?
That wasn't that bad.
Go ahead. I just muted them real quick. Idiot. But yeah.
It would be a money grab, because if you think about the position that women were in, where they were just the homemakers and not making their own money, of course they're going to do anything to get their own pocket change. I think that's where a lot of the mindset came from, like, oh, you getting yours, or you're getting more opportunity as a man. All I have is what the government is offering me right now. So I think,
because that still goes to the family, though. Because when you have that aspect, if I'm a working man and I'm a husband, I have children, my money goes to that family. Like, there's no pocket money really. Like, I'm not, taking $100 and just blowing it, gambling with playing golf with the boys or whatever. You know what I mean? It don't really work that way. Like, and it was nothing stopping her from like getting a part-time, or in modern cases getting a part-time or whatever, and having money. You know what I mean? Like, they work each day.
Well, I think I caught the tail end of this conversation. I'm gonna say this as far as the nuclear family is concerned. The way it works, the way it used to work, is that the man went to work, and provided for the home. The wife took care of the home while the husband was away. That's why if anything happened in the home, the father didn't know about it until he came home. If the kids were misbehaving or anything like that, he took care of it when he got home. I believe in today's society, men and women have gotten away from each other. Women want to be boss babes. They want to be the man of the house. You know what I mean? Men don't want that. So we're competing against each other. And what men are starting to do is they're like, all right, well, you want to compete with me? I got to compete in the real world. I'm not coming home to compete with no woman. That's not happening. So guess what? Now men are starting to walk away. And that's why you have all these like pet companies, pet food companies hitting high marks in the stock market because the investment opportunities are just vastly greater than they've ever been. There was never a time where the Chewy stock could measure up to, let's say, Apple, but it does. There's a reason for that. Women, that's why you hear women all the time, oh, if I can't get a man, I'll get a dog. That's because the men you want them to be on your level or above, but you want to compete with them at the same time. It doesn't work that way. But when the man feel like his job is taken away from him in the home, he walks away. I'm supposed to provide for you. I'm supposed to protect you in times of danger. I'm supposed to help raise these kids. I'm supposed to leave a legacy. If my legacy is all I did was argue with you all day long after working a 9 to 5 and trying to beat out the next man, what kind of legacy did I leave? So I'm just going to walk away. That's just how that goes. Everyone has their part to play. The woman is there to take care of the home, take care of the kids, get them through those early years. Once they get up to a certain age, now it's my job to get them to be productive members of society. That's why they always say, fathers keep sons out of jail and daughters off stripper poles. That's just how it is. That's why right now, when you have a bunch of single mothers raising, especially young boys, look how they turn out. 80% of serial killers come from single mother homes. So that tells you enough right there. All these mass shooters, where did they come from? Single mother homes. Majority of them. But actually it's about 90%. Though I think the only one came from a 2-parent home, but it wasn't even his mother and father. It was like his aunt and uncle because the parents weren't there. So that tells you a lot right there, because the aunt basically took on the majority role of raising him instead of saying, you know what, help me with him, because she was his biological aunt. So the uncle is just married into the family, doesn't really feel like he has a say in the matter. And she didn't instill with him like, no, I need you to help me with him. I need you to be that male figure. So that's what's going on in today's society right now. That's why I call it a clown world. That's why as much as black women hated him, guys like Kevin Samuels were necessary because they spoke the truth. This is what it is. This is what it's supposed to be. All this Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion nonsense, that's got to go. That's got to go, because we, especially us as a community, we are failing ourselves. Because that really what we should be aspiring to be, city girls? You know what I'm saying? We got to get away from that. We're losing every time. Every day we get another shot at life, we lose because we don't take responsibility to our community. That's one of the biggest problems. And then when certain people come along and speak the truth, we basically condemn them. We shame them. We put them down. Kevin Samuels, even a Candace Owens, as much as y'all probably don't like hearing her name. Candace Owens speaks nothing but the truth. The biggest plight that Black America face is father absence, which is what I'm talking about. The father not being in the home. Nobody can do it by themselves, but I will say this, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. The statistics show that single fathers have a tendency to raise more productive members of society than single mothers. That's because the mother is the nurturer, the father is the authoritarian.
Right.
We got to get back to the basics. That's pretty much what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I saw something that was saying that like women are the nurturers and men we prepare our children for the world. Like
yes,
the world, because the world is hard. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to sit there and baby them and color them the whole time. No, we got to get them ready to, again, like you said, be productive members of society.
Absolutely.
Like, it's funny that you said that though, because it's true, and we need men in the household. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much else. Like, a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. She has this idea, right, of the perfect man, the man that you know what I mean, that everybody want, like all the women want or whatever. But she doesn't know how to teach her son how to be that. You know what I
Yeah, and
mean?
what she ends up doing is like you see a lot of single mothers running around with their sons going, "This my husband. This my man." No, he's not. He's your son.
Yeah.
He's your son. What you need to do is get some strong leader alpha males around him that can show him this is what you need to become.
I'm not down with the whole alpha male bull crap. You need a strong
I'm
male
only
character.
using that. I'm only using that terminology because of the mindset that comes with it, not the actual. Oh, I'm the shit. So I'm not talking about that.
And that's
When
that's
I'm
why it's like I'm not really good with
Yeah, I'm
that.
talking about the
Yeah.
mentality of being a strong leader, of being out in front of things.
Yep. Like, think about it. How many of us have fathers in the household that even show us like simple things like carpentry? You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, you
Yard.
don't see it today. You don't really see it today.
You don't see it. Like, I brought my house, and the previous owner, he did a lot of the woodwork and everything himself. I looked at my wife. I'm like, yo, like, I got big shoes to fill. Like, I mean, like, I ain't had nobody teach me this stuff. Like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how. Good.
I don't want to exclude all women because there's a lot of women out there that agree with
I talk
me
in
and some that
generalities,
agree
so
with
I don't
me.
want to come off that way either.
Well, yeah, it seems that the majority of the people that feel the way that you do, that agree with you, and that realize what you do, are usually men. There's a lot of men out there that want the family, that want to be the provider and the protector. They want to be the head of the household. They want it, but it's a lot of women out there now that are like, I don't need a man. I don't want a man. I don't want nobody to tell me what to do, or I make more than him, or just that you have a lot of women that have given up on the man and given up on the black man is my bottom line. You have a lot of women that, it's like they don't know. You want to be this single mom, raising these boys on your own and tell everybody I'm the mom and I'm the dad, it's like they don't that is just lost. When I mention stuff like that, everybody be like, "Oh, you telling your age?" Like, that's old school. Like, the world ain't like that no more. I grew up in a house with my biological mom and dad. Like, they were married and together for 54 years. Like, we literally sitting at the table eating dinner together as a family every night. So that household wasn't broken. So, like, I understand as far as having a mom and a dad, having the first, that's what we had. My dad was the one working, my mom was cooking and cleaning, taking care of the house. There came a time where she went out into the work world, but for the main part, that's exactly how I grew up at first. My dad was out, he was a protector and a provider. She was doing the homework, picking us up from school, but it's like, where is that now? Even if there's a household that has a mother and a father, it's very seldom the biological mother and a biological father. It's very seldom actually a marriage. We used to have couples that had families. Now we have women that have children. So we went from having a household of a mom and a dad and children to a household of a woman with 6 kids and 6 different baby fathers because she don't need a man
Hmm.
and she don't want a man. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I say, when I mention stuff like that, everybody like, oh, that's old school. The world ain't like that no more. Like nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares about being married. Nobody cares about trying to have all their kids with one person. Nobody cares about not needing child support. There was no such thing as child support in my house. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with both of them. Nobody took nobody to no child support. There was no bitterness, none of that. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't perfect. They argued and shit. It was crazy, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
it's the way it
it
goes.
was a
Yeah.
team effort. The protector, the provider, the head of the household, the neck that turns the head. The body. Put it like this: they did not cut off the head in my household. You cut off the head and the body dies. You know what I'm saying? And
I think.
that is, to me, that topic is taking back on something different that's geared towards our people and a plan towards our people. But I'm just saying it's manifested and it's working. Because a lot of women don't want a family. They don't want to be married. They don't want no man telling them what to do. They don't need a man. And you got men out here that actually do want to be that person. They want to be in a household. They want that commitment. They want to be a husband. They want to lead their family. But a lot of women have already given up. And so we've got all these kids and all these my body, my choice, all these, messed up decisions. And It's just all over the place.
I think it,
There's no
I think it's very
foundation.
interesting. I think it's very interesting that you're saying that, and then there's somebody that just asked, is getting back to the nuclear family even possible? I'm going
I put that
to,
up there. That is my thing. That's the next subject I was getting to. But go on.
okay. Well, I'm gonna answer to that real quick, and I'm probably gonna trigger the women. I'm gonna tell you right now. Is it
Hell
possible to
no.
get back to the nuclear family? Yes, it is.
Just say hell no.
Um, no. It's very possible to get back to the nuclear family, but here's what it's gonna take. You women have to concede that what y'all are trying to do isn't working. It's not. Every time y'all push for, hey, we want this, we want this, we want this. Men were like, no, 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 no. There's a reason why men were pushing so hard. It wasn't to keep y'all down, not necessarily. In some instances it was, and that was wrong. Which is why little by little men started to say, no, you're right. You deserve this. I'm gonna bring up Greek mythology for a second. There's a thing called Pandora's box. There were many people that guarded Pandora's box for a reason, because everyone else knew we don't know what's going to happen if we open this. So we will die to make sure no one gets even close to this box, because what we have right now, we're good with. Opening that may very well destroy it. It could even make it better. But instead of opening it to find out, leave it alone. What's happened is women have opened up Pandora's box. That's why women are complaining about transgender men being in sports. Because once you said your feelings matter over logic, that opened the door for that. Because now it's I feel like. Every time you talk, I feel like. Well, men said, we know that if this goes on, this is where we could go. And y'all, well, I feel like that's wrong. So men say, okay, cool. We'll let you have that. And then little by little, you want to get what we should have done is we should have met in the middle. The pendulum should have stopped in the middle, balance. We're supposed to balance each other out. We should have met in the middle. But as soon as we started saying, okay, you're right, we gave you so much, and we started opening up to the idea of, hey, you're equal to me. Little by little, it's just like a child. Can I have a cookie? No. Can I have a cookie? No. Can I have a cookie? No. All right, fine, here. Can I have another one? I just gave you one. Yeah, but I want another one. All right, fine. Then all of a sudden you look at the cookie jar is empty, and the kid ate so many cookies he can't eat dinner now. So everything's all screwed up. Now he doesn't go to bed with a good meal in his stomach. He's got junk food in his stomach. You see what I'm saying? So the more y'all kept getting, the more y'all kept pushing the envelope, the more everything started to go left. Everyone talked, the nuclear family worked for a reason. It worked. It was proven. It was tried and proven. And we've gotten so far away from that now look at the world. There's more degenerate kids running around here than ever before. That's why every day you look on World Star, there's a new video of Waffle House of a bunch of kids jumping employees, jumping an old man walking down the streets of New York City, breaking into Wawa. Now they're closing up Wawas. Guess what? Your local Wawa is going to be closed. So when you're hungry and you just got like $10 in your pocket, where are you going to go eat at? That $10 ain't going to really feed you unless you can get to a Wawa, because it's cheap food there. Well, that's gone now. And that's because we've gotten away from the nuclear family. We've kicked fathers out of the homes.
I
You know what
don't
I'm
know
saying?
women, but I consider myself to be very left brained because I have 3 brothers. I'm the only girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I was exposed to a lot of things that they go through or experience as men. Not necessarily not being treated fairly, but like just outlandish things happen. So I'm very practical in my decision making, but reason trying to reason with people. And I have met very little women like who just think like simply just think like about it's always emotional. It's always what is it like tick for tat most of the time. They're just like
Petty.
right. Like, I'm not your baby dad, right? I be feeling like I'm like a man in an abusive relationship sometimes. Like, why are you on my back? Like, and I can't even explain it because it really don't be making sense a lot of time. And I only interact with people when I go to work or my family. So, and that's a lot to even muster up. And try to get the energy to deal with. And that's for 10 hours, 3-4 days a week. And I barely can do that sometimes. It's just like, it's so many of them that have the same mindset and they all click together because they all think the same. And I'm like, that's fine, but that's not me. Like, if you don't like what I'm doing, then let me do what I do and you do what you want to do. Why are you trying to antagonize me for my choices that don't align with yours? That's not, I'm not here to agree with you. I'm here to live my life. Like, and that'd be a lot of the issue. Like, if you want to do what you want to do, fine, but don't tear me down and bash me because it's not how you would do it. And it is mindset, because it is a lot of them. I've met few women, few. When I say few, I can't stress that enough. Who have an accurate thought process. It's like, I don't know, like the Meg Thee Stallions and all of them, those are women that were going to do that anyway. That's the only thing I could think of. They were going to do that anyway because it's so easy to do nowadays. It's just they get
There you
by.
go. There you go. There you
For it
go.
getting popular because of it, so why not? If you only want money, then yeah, you're going to follow that because you only want money. The people that's behind the scenes and are actually living a prosperous, well,
I mean,
that's it's
you,
only.
you, you touched on an interesting point. There's a saying that goes, fast money comes with slow problems. Kim Kardashian, billionaire. Her son walks in the room. Mommy, I just saw this. She's on camera crying. All these OnlyFans girls, oh, well, it doesn't matter if my son gets teased because of what I did. He gonna get teased while he driving a Bentley. Flip side, that son don't care about that Bentley. That son cares that people look at his mother with admiration and respect. You did this to get me this Bentley?
Right.
Now I'm getting teased at school every day? You know what I'm saying? Especially that's why it's crazy, because that's why the whole father absence thing is so polarizing, because you remove the father from the household. Now the daughters are jumping on that stripper pole more than ever. Now those sons are out there committing crimes and being degenerates more than ever. You put a father back in the home, all that goes away significantly, because now you have a leader who's driven by logic and facts. As long as he's a good man, that's what you get. And these are the studies are saying this. This isn't like somebody just talking nonsense. The studies show it. It's more conducive to raise children in a two-parent home. They are less likely to be degenerates and more than likely to be productive members of society. But once the government came in and said, hey, listen, ladies, we'll give you this, this, and this, but keep the man out of the house. Just what you just said. It's easier for a Meg Thee Stallion to go the way she went. She's a college-educated woman. Why aren't you using that degree to do something productive? No, it's easy to shake your ass and talk about finessing dudes so you can get the bag that way. And I'm not really knocking her for it, but when you put that message out there to young girls coming up, what are they going to do? They're going to look and say, well, yeah, she went to college, but that's not where she made her money. So what they going to do? Shake their ass and talk about finessing dudes.
Yeah,
and you know
but
what the guys are going to do? I ain't even touching that. I'm going this way. I don't want nothing to do with that. And that's why you got women on TikTok crying, can't find no man. Well, think about your life decisions. Think about all those times in the club you was shaking your ass and the guy that you wanted saw that and said, never mind.
But I've met women with stable households who still act that way. And I'm like, you technically have everything that society has said is appropriate, or our goal is to be married with kids, house. Your husband provides everything, and you're still just cheap. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't please. It's just who they are. They wanted that. That's just who they are.
It's because also too today though, like they going back and re-envisioning right marriages and stuff from a time that no longer really exists. Like you said, that nuclear family, it's you can get the man back in the household, but actually getting that nuclear family back together, it's something hard to do now because women are more empowered now, where they
There
can
you
go out
go.
to work and stuff like that. We actually
There
have
you
somebody
go.
work with that told me a month ago that she was upset that her boyfriend sold his PlayStation 5 so he can help her pay bills. And she was like, yo, I don't want you to do that. I want you to
He did
go
what?
look for a job. That's it. That's all you had to do. You ain't had to sell your PlayStation. You ain't had to do something that you love. And I'm like, yo, he really like you, you know?
Wait,
So
There you
now
go.
hold on, hold on, hold
I wouldn't
on,
have did that. I wouldn't have did
hold
that. I
on,
would have
hold
just looked for a job.
I would have.
Hold on.
Hold on. I
wait.
want to hear his point. I want to hear his point. Go ahead.
A month later, he gets on unemployment. So now he's like cutting her short. Like he's like, I can't give you $100. Here's $50. Or, oh, I don't have no money today. She literally said now that she's working, she's been working with us, but she picked up overtime or whatever. He's like, oh, well, that $100 that I gave you, I'm not going to give it to you since you got an extra day at work and stuff. And she was like, now, like this past month, since she's been like he ain't been paying much or he hasn't been doing his share, she said she feels so much more empowered. Like she said she feel like the man. She was like, I want him to get out the house. Like I
There you
don't
go.
need him anymore. Like she was like,
That's what
he's
happens,
not doing
bro.
anything. She started cheating on him already, all this stuff. Like, and I'm just like,
That's
damn, like
and that's a very powerful thing you just said because in all honesty, I'm probably gonna get canceled for saying this.
Oh, they don't say it. I'm not trying to get canceled because you said it. Wait, oh.
No. I'm gonna say so. I'm gonna be respectful how I say it. Women are not built to provide for a man long term.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's why he just said. That's why he just said the girl he's talking about said, I feel so empowered. Now she's stepping out in them streets, and now she's looking at him every day and going, "You got to go,"
Okay. So,
because he lost his frame. He lost his frame. He's supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the one where she comes home after a hard day's work. Hey, don't worry about it. I got it. It's more powerful for a woman to come to her man and say, babe, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he say, puts his hand on her shoulder and say, babe, I got it. She right then and there, she goes, oh. And everything that she was worried about is lifted. Now, if he does that to her, she gonna hug him real close, and you're gonna see her face turn to the side, and she's gonna frown because she's gonna be like, what the fuck?
well, in my maturity, I don't mind helping somebody else. But if you're not helping yourself, that's when I have an issue. Don't use me as a scapegoat. Oh, I know she's gonna give it to me, so I don't gotta do it. That's different to me.
Can we go back real quick? I literally had tears fall out my eyes. You said he sold his PlayStation 5 to help out?
That's love.
That's an engagement ring. You made
what
us feel like the wife for that guy because he did everything in his power to make sure you got what you got. Because men don't sell PlayStations or Xboxes for nobody.
They will as a means to an end.
That's what I
for
told
themselves. For themselves. Not gonna do it for nobody else.
Now hold on. I'll say this real quick. If you look at the needs of a man, they're very basic. So for him to sell that PlayStation 5, something that keeps him in the house and not running the streets, means that they were at a point where he said, you know what, I get a lot of enjoyment out of this, but there's something bigger. So if I got to get rid of this to help get to that point, that's what I will do. Because I don't have another way to do it. So something that keeps him in the house, keeps him entertained, probably is an escape for him from the real world. He said, for her, I'll sacrifice.
That's what she said, and I'm like, yo, he really like you, because I wouldn't have did it. I was like,
And she still said he got to go.
He said, because I wouldn't have did it.
Still wouldn't have did it. I was like,
I wouldn't have did it.
Another way.
I wouldn't have did it. I would have found another way.
Guess I gotta go hit the block real quick. Take these cups because I ain't
at some point you gotta do what you gotta do, but doing that, man, Because the crazy part is I always say this. A lot of women will ask me stuff, and I'll tell them like, think about it from this perspective. When a woman gives a man something, look at his reaction to receiving that. His reaction is, thanks, because he doesn't know how to receive anything because he's such a provider. His mission is to make sure you're good. But look how he is when he gives you something. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't end when he gives it to you and you receive it. And you're like, oh, babe, you did that for me. Thank you so much. He goes off and starts telling his friends, yo, you won't believe what I did for her. You know, I took her to Salt Bay's restaurant down in Miami. She lit up. She's never been there before. She lit up. What else did y'all do? Man, we walked South Beach, man. We stopped at this little bar. We had a little drink. Took her down over to Live nightclub. We was in there partying it up. She met some celebs, all this other stuff. It was me giving her that experience, and she was so grateful for it. We got back to the hotel. We did our thing. We came home. It's an experience that you'll always have forever. That's what men do. Women will be like, yeah, I got him some J's. Yeah. And you know what the man is saying the whole time he putting them J's on? I could have bought this shit myself.
Or if you like me, this is what I am. You got me some what? I could have got a pair of champions from Payments for that. What's wrong with you?
I always tell girls, do not spend a lot of money on me. What I tell girls all the time, I'm like, pick up on the little things. Pick up on the little things. Something I may have said, man, I gotta stop at the store and get that. And I just didn't get around to getting it. Now you come up, babe. I remember you said you had to get that here. That means so much more because number one, it shows you were paying attention. Mm-hmm. It shows me that you retain that information, and then you looked over and said, oh, he ain't get it yet. Let me go get that. You buying me a watch that I can go buy for myself? That means absolutely nothing. I had a girl buy me a $300 watch, and I was just looking at her like, the hell you do that for? We could have did something else. You could have put that money in the pot. We could have took a trip. Why are you on $300 on a watch? You know how many times I wore that watch? The day she bought it, and that was it. That's the only time I ever wore that watch. I don't even know where that watch is.
Damn.
I honestly do not know where that watch is. You probably got it.
I know where it is.
You probably got it knowing you. But like I got this one. I got this watch right here from Michael Kors. Right? $175. I wear this all the time because I bought it. Because I bought it.
Don't worry about it.
That was a gift for me because I saw it and I was like, I want that. But that's my whole thing, and that's why I tell girls all the time, I don't need you to do a lot. I need you to pay attention. That gets you further with me than anything else. You buy me the latest copy of Madden. Number one, you're gonna look stupid because when you say, "Babe, I got you Madden," I'm gonna be like, "I already got it." Hey, I saw these J's. I got the same ones. And a lot of times, that's why I tell them, don't make yourself look stupid because you're gonna think I didn't get something and I did. It's the little things that I might miss. It's the little things. Damn, I ain't put gas in my car. I'm gonna have to do that in the morning. And you just did it.
Y'all a little older than me, but
a little?
Yeah. Okay, whatever. So situations that I think because now women have normalized or
I like how you women. I like that you did that, women, because a lot of them think they are, but they go on.
Yeah. So
be careful.
And they're promoting being side chicks. Oh, I don't care as long as my phone bill paid and shit like that. So now a lot of dudes talk to me. They be like, "Yeah, I got a wife." Like, okay, you think this is normal? Like, why are you talking to me? We out, you got a wife. I'm like, that's not what the type of time I'm on. Like, I need to be prioritized. I'm not gonna be okay with you taking me out and go home to somebody else. Like, first, that's mad disrespectful. But I just realize how normalized it is that they think it's okay to approach me like that. Like, it's not.
It's women are starting to feel empowered. But they're feeling empowered in the wrong way because of this new age feminism. Like, number one, feminism isn't even necessary nowadays. Tell me a right that a man has that a woman doesn't.
Exactly.
Y'all fought for it. Y'all got it. Got it. So tell me a right that a man has that a woman doesn't. Now I can tell you a couple things that a woman has that a man doesn't have. A man can't walk into a place of business and just get the job based on the fact that he's a man. A woman can. There's affirmative action for women.
I don't see none of them benefits.
That's because you probably getting it on your own. You probably already getting it. But what I'm saying is, like, there's women that run around saying, "Oh, I can't get into this employment space because I'm a woman." It's like, nah, that's not true. Because if there is an industry dominated by men, they are incentivized to bring in women. Can't say the same thing for men. There's no industry that a man is trying to get into that's going to look and be like, we need to get men in here. No,
the stripper industry. Yep.
Nope. Can't even do it. There's male strip clubs all over the world. They just and the funny part is the men don't make as much money as the women. But there's no men coming out talking about that. You know what I'm saying? But women don't talk about the pay gap, which isn't real. The pay gap doesn't exist. You questioning the pay gap? I don't think you want to take that trip with me.
It's only happening in private corporate companies. Like
no. Let me break it down. The wage gap exists not because of gender, but because of choice. I don't see no women signing up for offshore drilling. And last time I checked, that starts at $180K.
I know some.
That signed up for offshore drilling and didn't get the job.
Quarter female welder, and that's why she became one. Is because she's like, there's so few and far in between. She actually became an underwater welder.
So she got the job.
I don't know if she got the job, but that's what she did in college. Like,
okay, if she got the job, congratulations. Yeah. But that's like a lot of women will talk about the pay gap, and it's like, no, it's not about you being a woman. It's about choice.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but like you said, they can just go into a job and pretty much get a job. You know what I mean? Especially in the office, based on that they're a woman. So therefore, really, even if you are making $1.25, that less than me or whatever,
it's still not about gender though.
It's not, but it's also in a thing that they're in our community, right? They're more educated and they're more likely to get a job. So that in our community, in the Black community, they're not actually. There's no pay gap. You know what I mean? There's definitely no pay gap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because if you look at it, like, men are into things, women are into people. So what industries do women dominate? Industries that deal with people, social work, nursing, education. Those fields deal with people. Men dominate industries that deal with building, construction, offshore drilling, the dangerous jobs, policing. That's why the rate of women joining the police force isn't as high as people think. It's not, because women don't want to walk out the house with a gun on their hip.
Exactly.
Just is what it is. Tell me how many female firefighters there are in the world.
It's not
a lot.
Yeah. Still dominated.
So you know what I mean? Yeah. So when women look at the industries, they look at what's easier, what's more comfortable for them. I'm not saying it's all women, because there are some women who think they can do it. But I remember I'm a big fan of the Fresh and Fit podcast. I watch it every day. And there was a girl that was on the episode, and she went for plumbing. And she said when she had to take the test, she had a hard time turning one of the bolts. It was too hard for her to turn the bolts. She got the job anyway. She said they pushed her through because they don't have any women. If a man tried that in a woman-dominated field, he just has to be qualified. There is no, you know what I mean? Like, he has to be qualified for that job. You know what I mean? Think about it like this. If you have a child, do you drop your child off at the daycare center full of men or full of women?
Yo, they literally don't hire. I was told this. I applied for a daycare once. Me and my wife together.
Oh, really?
They weren't even interested in my application, and I found out is they don't hire men in daycares because
there you go.
Pedophilia, but like
there you go.
Do it, like, you know what I mean? Like,
instead of taking you as an individual, they lumped you in with all men who do that.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
But if
and I was
you
trying
do
to get
that
my
to a
kid to go to
female,
the
it's
daycare,
World
right? You
War
know what I
Three.
mean? So, like, I'm a father, you know what I mean? I wanted my kid to go to the daycare too. Like,
But as a father though, think about it.
yeah.
What are you more comfortable with? Men watching your kids or women watching your kids?
Oh, definitely. I would definitely prefer a woman, you know what I mean?
There you go.
But I think it's too, like, societal programming, though, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's basic biology. Women are
yeah,
nurturers.
yeah,
So when you drop your kid off, your expectations are that your child's going to be in great hands. When
true.
you drop them off at that
Yes,
all
yes,
male
yes,
nursery,
yes,
you're
yeah.
going to be sitting there going like, I don't know about this. Like, what if my child got to go to the bathroom? I don't know if I'm comfortable with a man taking my kid to the bathroom.
It's funny that you said that because I was watching a video. It was a video on Instagram or something. Like, a young 13-year-old girl carries a baby to like a restaurant, and it's a lady just sitting there, and she asks the lady, she's like, "Can you hold my baby while I go to the bathroom or something?" She just drops the baby off to the lady, and left. She actually just left her child with this lady. And people was commenting like, "Oh, like, how could she just leave it with the lady or whatever like that and anything?" I'm like, my first thing was like, well, what's she supposed to do? Drop it off with the guy? Like, the lady, at least you know, like, that lady's that nurturing effect going to kick in to where that
Yeah.
lady's going to be like, all right, well, at least I need to take this baby to where it got to go, to where it gets proper care. Where a guy, you don't know if he's going to just leave that thing in the restaurant and just walk out. Like, oh, shit, come out of the bathroom.
And that's the way it goes, my man. Like people like Myron says it all the time. What does he say? The hardware might be different, but the software is the same.
Same. Yep.
We are hardwired. You are hardwired for certain behaviors. That's why I said when a man gives a gift, look how happy he is to give the gift. When he receives a gift, look how indifferent he is about it. It's not that he doesn't appreciate it. It's just that we're the provider. We're so hardwired to provide that when we receive something, we really don't know how to receive it. You know what I mean? Like we could put on a front, but once we get around our boys, we'll be like, yeah, she got this for me. I don't know why she did that. We could have did something else with that. She spent all this money on me, but we could have used that for something else.
Oh, and you're definitely right. Like, when it comes down to women, I would rather, like, maybe use money, finances for memories instead of, like, materials. I don't want to
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna get back in with y'all. I just gotta take this call real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. But I would rather have a woman, you know what I mean, like, use your money for me, or if you're gonna buy me something, let's save that, put it in the bucket for vacation or something, so we can spend more time together than for you to buy me material. Like, I can get that for myself.
Yeah, and I think that's how most of us feel. Like, why buy me anything I can get myself? Now, if I can't get it myself, thank you.
Different, yeah. I'm gonna let you know. You know, like, hey,
Right, like, hey, look, I'm gonna have a hard time getting that. You know, I'm just putting that out there. Walk away. You get it? Lifesaver.
Like, even with me being, like, married, like, sometimes, like, when my ex, she would ask me, like, what you want for Christmas? What you want for your birthday? And at times
I
I'm like,
don't
yo,
know.
give me tools or something for the house. Like, stop asking. Like, you've been buying me, like, video games and stuff like that, but then you mad when I'm playing them. I'm like, give me some tools. So, like, I'm like, all right, now I can start fixing shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's the little things. Like, I don't want to have to go out, buy my own tools, then buy the material to fix whatever I gotta fix. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a bigger education thing. I think it's going, like somebody said, it's going to take generations for us to get back to the nuclear family. But I think we lost a lot of communication with our women, and I think that we got to get back
We've
to that.
lost a lot of communication back and forth, honestly.
Exactly.
It's not just with the women, it's the way we talk to women, the way women talk to us.
Yep,
And then
exactly.
how we talk to our kids too, because I swear if I hear one more parent yell at a 5-year-old using every expletive in the fucking world, get your black butt or this back and get into a kid like they're 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a communication thing all the way around, from the top to the bottom, from parents to grandchildren to grandparents and the daughters and the sons. Like, it seems like we've forgotten how to speak to each other in general. Like, mom shouldn't be talking to grandmom like that's her best friend, and grandmom should damn sure not be in the same club as mom. My grandma out on the dance floor singing her is better than a grandkid. Like, what the fuck? My grandma know how to twerk? No, go back home. You're supposed to be in the house.
Right.
I don't need to see that. What club are y'all going to tonight? We're not telling you. Why? We don't want you at the club we're going to. Like, you go your way, we gonna go our way. You know what I mean?
Right.
No offense to those that share that with their grandparents. Cool. Y'all got that kind of relationship. I'm just saying, it's weird to me. I'm not. Go ahead.
I keep saying it takes a lot of maturity to handle some situations. Logic, and I think that women are the disconnection is a lot of times is they just think that they're entitled to certain things nowadays that they don't have
They
to.
haven't earned.
Don't have to consider anyone else's feelings. Like, they don't have to consider the outcome of certain of their current behavior, and it's like it affects everybody a lot of the times, and they're just like, oh well, I'm a woman, I can do that, I can overreact. Don't tell me to relax. Like, no, you're a person too. Everybody, like, you have to conduct yourself in a certain way. Like, have some character. Like, have some type of substance, some type of integrity, something. But society has made it normal to behave that way. They condoned it, and so that's what we're left with. Bunch of overreact, illogical women who are entitled.
I think it's the lack of.
I just want to say this real quick before I'm gonna let everybody have their final say, because we've actually been online for about 2 hours. I'm impressed with you guys is powering through. I know y'all had a long night at work last night, so thank you. But I'm just gonna say this, like, before we power through it, I want to get your final thoughts. How do I word this? If we today could look back, if we got visited, let me phrase that. If we got visited by our elders from back in the day that actually had the nuclear family, what do you think our great grandmothers or great great grandmothers and grandfathers would say to us?
The nuclear family?
The nuclear family would say to this family lifestyle that we have now. Ooh, that was a tough one, wasn't it? Sorry.
Don't be gassed, and don't fall for everything, because it's easy to get distracted, and because, like I said, the sheep mindset again. So many people are allowing certain things to happen that you start thinking that it's right when it's not. So I say, don't get distracted by what the asses are allowing and condoning. It's not the masses, it's the asses. Yeah. That's too. And understanding where we came from and what made the most sense and how it was effective and successful. Like, just be focused and try to maintain that integrity that they set the foundation on. Because
I would agree. I would think that they'll be disappointed in the situations that we face today, because they chose not to do certain things and to live a certain way, so they wouldn't have to, and they could stand strong as a community, as a family. Where today it's easily just written off, because of social services, we could say. You know what I mean? Like, women today, families in general today do trade-offs for social services. You know, I think they'd be very disappointed.
People understand also because a lot has transpired between their righteous living and what we're tricked into believing is right today. Like there is a big disconnect and a lot that that has been suffered through that has got us to this point. So I don't think they would necessarily be as disappointed, but would encourage us to be educated or even understand what they were trying to. Let's see.
I mean, I feel like in the 50s, for us, like as African Americans, blacks, that was one of the, we was at a point where, you know what I mean, like you had strong households. After that, it kind of seemed to have died down a little bit, you know. Now we don't, we're not as into trades as we used to be in history. Like at one point in history, you had to go to us to get some type of trade done, some type of working done, welding, carpentry or something. But today, it's not the case. Like it's hard for us to even get in the unions and stuff like that. And I just put it that way is because like having that father that in the household, that family aspect, you have generations of teachings. You hear what I'm saying? My father's father taught him something. Now my father can teach me. I can teach my kids, whether if it's a girl or a boy, you can still teach them, right? But we don't have that anymore. Nobody's there to teach us, you know what I mean, these things. Like, and I think it sets us back instead of going forward.
I agree. I definitely agree. Me personally, whew, if our ancestors could look up now, you know what I'm taking back to that there was a scene in Tyler Perry movie where I think Cicely Tyson, Maya Angelou, and I can't remember the third one's name. They just like tore down everybody that was at the family reunion like thing. Like they were like, y'all shaking y'all asses over here. You shooting dice, you're smoking weed, you're doing this, you're doing that, this, that, and the third. You got girls dressed like this, you got the boys with your pants sagging below your waist. Like this, I think it was in front of a slave house, if I recall correctly. Their ancestors' slavery home. You remember that or no?
I don't remember that one.
It was one of the movies. I cannot remember the name of this movie to save my life right now. Comments, please. Fill me in if you can. I can't remember the name of that movie. But yeah, when I think of like what would my ancestors say, that movie just comes straight to my head. Like that's exactly what they would say. Like, what the hell is going on now? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And we couldn't answer it. That's the bad part. We wouldn't even be able to tell them what happened. We'd just be like,
I got
I don't know. I don't know. One day I woke up and then, right. We fucked up. That's all I can say. What happened? We fucked up.
Nope, I'm blaming it on a white man.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Nope,
You really can't
do that.
We still made that decision to rely on them, or the system.
Not just that. We didn't make the decision to rely on them. We gave them the power to make those decisions when we had chances to put ourselves in those positions.
Exactly.
That's another discussion though, but
yeah, you know what? I think that'll be the next discussion.
What happened to our people?
I'm gonna have to do a lot of research. You're gonna be like, yeah, in the year 1942, we had a program set up for all African American families to have this, that, and third.
We can actually do that because a lot of people don't know. Actually, the KKK actually gave Elijah Muhammad money to actually so the Nation of Islam could start like black communities.
Allegedly. Please say allegedly. You will not get my channel blocked.
Allegedly taking money. Allegedly is taking money from him.
You gonna have to bring it. You got to bring the receipts for that, brother.
We gotta think about it, right? I'm for inclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if we don't have a foundation for ourselves, right?
Right.
We're not benefiting from that inclusion. You get what I'm saying? We're basically fighting. You know what I mean? We spend so much money here in America, but we don't do anything for ourselves with it. You know what I
It's
mean?
like that. It's an old saying, an old saying. My elders used to say this: a man who does not have a strong foundation will fall for anything.
Exactly.
And so far, it feels like every time we start to build a foundation for ourselves, we fuck something up, or we allow something to come in and chip away at one part of our foundation, and we just like, oh, it's just a little chip. That's not gonna. That's okay. And over time, that chip becomes bigger, and becomes a crack, and then our foundation gets fucked all over again. Then we got to spend the rest of our time trying to rebuild that foundation.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely got to come back for a discussion on that because I know a lot of history and some things aren't as simple as.
And I'm going to let you run that podcast that day. I will be your co-host on that one. Because you're going to have me in the library talking about something. I spent 13 hours in the library yesterday just so I could be prepared for the test, teacher.
Because they definitely, I grew up having to say I'm black and I'm proud. So, yeah, I had to sit there and say it. Like, so.
Yeah, I grew up with the same thing, but now I don't even say like I'm black and I'm proud. I just say I'm here. I'm just here. Like I'm here. That's all I can be. If I can't be anything else, I can be here. Present.
Speaking spoken to. I say
yeah, I was raised up in that era. Don't say nothing unless somebody say something to you. But Mom, did I say something to you?
yeah, for a fucking surprise. But knowing your history definitely puts you in a peculiar situation in society because it's like that's why I take the stand that I do a lot of the time because it's a strange world. You can't just be out here just speaking your mind like they say you can. People get their feelings hurt quick talking to me. I'll be like, don't, just don't say nothing to me, please.
I just want to hurt y'all feelings real quick. That's all. That's why I keep doing this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know though. Like our history, especially, like they not taught. Like they know about slavery, but they don't know like the things that they did to keep us in the situation that we're in now. Like they don't know the hundreds of years of psychological, you know what I mean, torment, the things that they use to put us against each other, like the whole Jim Crow and all that stuff. They don't know. Like I've had discussion with a woman at work at Amazon about that. You know, and she was like, "Oh, I like talking to you because you don't get offended." And I'm like, well, I know that you don't know certain things. That's why. So when I hear you say ignorant shit, I know it's just because you're ignorant and you don't know like certain things. Cause she's like, oh, well, why y'all do this or why y'all do that? And like, I gotta go in and explain to her, like, yo, it's only been like 60 something years since we've been able to do this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, explain to her, like
y'all had a hell of a head start.
Like y'all done
y'all had a head start.
Like,
y'all had 400 years to do this shit. We just got the power.
Right. So like,
we trying to see how far we can push this shit. All
exactly. Right. We still learning in our community. We still trying to make it work. Like y'all just sit there and complain about us though. You know what I mean? And I try to tell her too, like them, you know what I mean? The ones that just stand by and just look, they just as guilty. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so
a whole nother discussion. That's definitely a good.
We're going to have this. What do you say? 2 weeks? Another 2 weeks? I would love to have you back on, you right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But next time, let's do it like 2 o'clock in the afternoon because 12 o'clock. I'm hungover.
Man, I'm like,
I'm not even hungover. I just woke up really early, so I know I had too much to drink last night. And I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I just sleep at 8 o'clock, so I'm surprised I'm still up.
Yeah. I'm glad that you made it. To our other guest that was here, she will be having a book release in the near future, hopefully. I might have her on a one-on-one podcast. Sorry, you don't like coming to the studio, but yeah, I'm gonna have her on a one-on-one podcast, and we are actually about to wrap up. Welcome back, little bro.
Yeah, that was
Final thoughts on that you would like to share before we get out of here. Everybody, you five, just give me a sentence or whatever on your final thoughts. Is
Did everybody go, or does anybody?
Yeah, we've been gone. Waiting for you now.
What would our ancestors say today about the nuclear family?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I'm glad you were there, Coach. What? Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. Our community has got to get back to. Me and a friend of mine, we always say this. We have to show a responsibility to the collective. We have to get back to. We have to become what everyone else is. There's a reason why laws are being passed for other groups. Those groups say, I don't care if the two of you are fighting, that's not important. This is important right now. So once we get this accomplished, if y'all want to go back to fighting each other, go back to fighting each other. But until we accomplish this, we all in this together. And that's where we as Black people have to get back to. We can't get the nuclear family back if we're all squabbling. That's why the whole idea of reparations is a joke. Because I mean, if the government said today, hey, we recognize we wronged you and we want to make it right, reparations, what do you guys want? There's going to be millions of different ideas of what reparations should be. There's not going to be a collective idea of what it should be. And that's the biggest problem facing the Black community right now. Father absence and an irresponsibility to the collective. And there it is.
And with that, I am AMG. This is
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Our guests, Doc, Uriah, and Azalea.
Blessings to y'all.
Thank you for tuning in. Y'all stay blessed, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Our next conversation will be I'll decide the title soon. I'm sorry.
Bring me back on. I like this.
What happened to our
What happened to our people? That's the next title for 2 weeks from now. In 2 weeks at 2:00 p.m., I'm letting y'all know ahead of time so y'all can schedule it. 2 p.m. Saturday, we will be back live from our remote locations. Once again, for everybody here and everybody at home, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Take it easy.
All right.